If you have ever dreamed of owning a place that pays for itself, a property that not only gives you a personal getaway spot, but also generates steady cash flow every month, then here we go. Imagine sipping coffee on the porch of your vacation home while knowing that, when you're not there, travelers are booking it night after night, covering your mortgage and then some. Sounds like the perfect life, right? Here's the truth. The vacation rental market in the U.S. is booming right now. But here's the catch. Not every location is created equal. Some places are money machines with high occupancy rates and jaw-dropping nightly returns, while others will drain your wallet with endless vacancies and regulations. The difference between success and failure often comes down to where you buy. That's exactly what we're uncovering in today's video. The top 10 cities in the U.S. to buy a vacation rental property right now, and trust me, you don't want to miss a single spot on this list. Each destination has unique opportunities, and by the end, you'll know exactly which markets are positioned to deliver the best returns. So grab a notebook, settle in, and let's dive into the list. But before we get started, make sure to subscribe to the Globe Realty and hit that notification bell. That way, you'll never miss insider strategies and updates that could change the way you invest forever. Number 10. Las Vegas, Nevada. When most people think of Las Vegas, they picture the neon glow of the Strip, slot machines ringing, and Elvis impersonators marrying couples at midnight. But here's what investors are realizing. Vegas isn't just a playground, it's a vacation rental powerhouse. According to AirDNA and STR market reports for 2024-2025, Las Vegas short-term rentals averaged $234 per night with 66% occupancy, translating into an average annual revenue of about $55,000 per property. With over 15,000 active listings, demand is fierce, but so are the rewards. Visitors aren't just gamblers anymore. They're families coming for shows, foodies exploring celebrity chef restaurants, and sports fans catching Raiders games or Formula One events. This diversity keeps bookings strong year-round. But here's the twist. Regulations in Vegas can feel like a gamble in themselves. Clark County cracked down in 2022, and while legal STR permits are limited, properties inside city limits with licenses are gold mines. Investors who get it right are rewarded with some of the highest cash-on-cash returns in urban vacation rentals, sometimes 8% or more. Think about it this way. Imagine you own a sleek condo just minutes off the Strip. During CES, nightly rates can spike to $400. A single week of conferences might cover your mortgage for the month. The rest of the year, steady weekend travelers fill the gaps. It's not the slow seasonal swings you see in beach towns. Las Vegas runs 24/7, 365 days a year. Las Vegas is high risk with high reward. If you can navigate the permit system, you're essentially holding a ticket to one of the busiest vacation rental economies in the U.S. But if you cut corners, you risk penalties and headaches. Vegas is for bold investors who know the house doesn't always have to win. Number 9. Orlando, Florida. It's sunrise in Orlando. Families are loading into minivans, Mickey Mouse ears already on, maps of theme parks folded in their hands. For millions, this city is the definition of vacation. But for investors, Orlando is something else entirely. It's a cash flow engine hiding behind the castle walls. The numbers tell the story. In 2025, the average vacation rental in Orlando brings in around $29,000 annually, with an occupancy rate hovering at 63% and an average daily rate of about $125. Peak months like April, May, and the holiday season can push those rates much higher. With visitors coming from all over the globe, families chasing Disney magic, young adults exploring Universal, and convention-goers filling downtown hotels, Orlando's demand isn't just steady, it's diverse. But here's the twist. Competition. Orlando has one of the largest pools of vacation rentals in the U.S., with thousands of active listings. That means if your property isn't special, if it doesn't have the pool, the proximity, or the Instagram-ready interiors, you risk being lost in the shuffle. And with Florida's rising insurance premiums and growing property taxes, costs can creep up fast. Still, the opportunities are undeniable. Imagine owning a 5-bedroom villa 10 minutes from Disney. Spring break hits, and your nightly rate jumps from $125 to $300. One fully booked week could cover your mortgage for the entire month. And while hotel chains scramble to keep up, vacation rentals give families the space and privacy they crave. So why does Orlando sit at number 9? Because it's dependable, but not without its challenges. The demand is massive, the revenue potential solid, but investors have to be strategic. Pick the right property in the right location with the right amenities. Done right, Orlando isn't just the land of theme park dreams. It's the land where vacation rentals can fund your real estate empire. Number 8, Savannah, Georgia. Imagine waking up to Spanish moss swaying over oak-lined streets, the salty air mixing with the scent of magnolias, and the gentle murmur of riverboats gliding across the Savannah River. That kind of southern charm doesn't just pull at the heartstrings, it's also quietly pulling in vacation rental dollars. Savannah is currently punching above its weight. In the 12-month period, June 2024, May 2025, STRs in Savannah averaged 241 nights booked per year, with an occupancy rate of 66% and an average daily rate, ADR, of $192. That adds up. A typical STR pulls in about $46,000 per year in revenue. There are around 2,857 to 3,100 active listings in the city as of mid-2025. But here's where the story gets twisty. Regulation. Savannah isn't a free-for-all. To operate legally, short-term vacation rentals, STVRs, must obtain STVR certificates. STVRs are allowed in specific overlay districts, downtown Victorian streetcar historic districts, or certain business agriculture zones outside those overlays. In addition, non-owner-occupied STVRs in many residential wards are capped at 20% of residential parcels per ward. Owner-occupied ones are exempt from that cap. On seasonality, like many tourist spots, Savannah has peaks and valleys. Spring, especially March and April, is golden. Events, blooming gardens, festivals, that kind of thing sends ADR and occupancy up. In the slower winter months, rates drop, occupancy pulls back. But even during off-peak, bookings are steady enough to cover many fixed costs. Now picture owning a beautifully restored historic home just a few blocks from the river. During festival season or St. Patrick's Day, it will be scooped up. The rest of the year, slow mornings and quieter streets. But if you've priced things carefully, minimum nights, dynamic pricing, you still make a lot. But, and this is a big but, if your property is outside zones where STVRs are permitted, or if the ward has hit its cap, you may not even be able to get the proper certificate. That risk can kill upside if you don't research zoning first. Savannah mixes charm, demand, solid revenue, and a regulatory framework you can navigate, but only if you do your homework. The potential is real, but not without boundaries. Number 7, Austin, Texas. If Savannah is where history whispers through cobblestones, Austin is where the future dances to the beat of live guitars and startup dreams. Picture this. The sun is setting over Lady Bird Lake, kayakers still out on the water, and from every corner of downtown, you can hear music spilling into the streets. That's Austin, a city of festivals, tech moguls, and endless creativity. But here's the question for us. What does all that mean for vacation rental investors like you? Well, let's start with the numbers. In 2025, Austin's vacation rental scene is generating a median annual revenue of about $32,500 per listing. The average nightly rate sits at around $270, and while the overall occupancy hovers in the mid-40s, hosts who position their rentals near the city's hotspots, think downtown, East Austin, or close to big event venues, are seeing much stronger performance. And here's the kicker. Year over year, revenues are still growing, up nearly 7% compared to last year. But, as with every opportunity, there's a twist. Austin is an event-driven market. When SXSW, Austin City Limits, or tech conventions roll into town, rates surge, sometimes tripling overnight. A single week of bookings can rival an entire month in slower seasons. But when the stages go dark and the crowds thin out, demand softens. Smart investors plan for this cycle and diversify their pricing strategy. And then there's regulation. Austin has been tightening its short-term rental rules, requiring stricter licensing and limiting how many properties can operate in certain areas. That means anyone diving into this market must not only buy smart but also stay compliant or risk hefty fines. Austin, Texas is a market of balance, high nightly rates, explosive peaks during major events, and an undeniable cool factor that attracts guests year-round. But it also demands a savvy investor, someone who understands seasonality, design, and the importance of standing out in a crowded field. Austin isn't for the faint-hearted investor, but if you play your cards right, it could be the city where your vacation rental pays like a headlining act. Number 6. The Poconos, Pennsylvania. Now let's step away from the buzz of Austin and drift into something completely different. Imagine crisp mountain air, a log cabin with smoke curling from the chimney, and families bundled up, sipping hot cocoa after a long day on the ski slopes. Welcome to the Poconos, where nostalgia meets nature, and where vacation rental properties are becoming a quiet goldmine. At first glance, the Poconos might feel like a throwback destination. After all, it's been a family getaway spot for generations. But here's the surprise. In 2025, this market is thriving like never before. Vacation rentals here pull in an average annual revenue of around $35,000, with occupancy rates climbing above 50%. And the average daily rate, ADR? Roughly $220 per night, and much higher for large cabins during peak ski season or summer lake getaways. The beauty of the Poconos is its year-round appeal. Winter brings ski enthusiasts to Camelback and Jack Frost, while summer draws families to the lakes, hiking trails, and water parks. Fall foliage season is practically an attraction of its own, filling calendars with bookings weeks in advance. Unlike many markets that rely on one big season, the Poconos has 4 distinct ones, keeping cash flow steady across the year. But here's the twist. This isn't just a playground for families anymore. Remote work has brought a new wave of mid-term renters who want a cozy retreat outside New York or Philly, yet close enough to drive back for a meeting. That demand has shifted the game, making even rustic cabins prime investment targets. Of course, challenges exist. The area has seen a surge in new listings, meaning investors need to differentiate their properties with hot tubs, game rooms, or design touches that feel more boutique than basic. Plus, while regulations here are less strict than in major cities, different townships have varying rules that hosts must navigate. Poconos is not just a vacation market, it's a tradition that's reinvented itself for 2025. Between steady year-round demand, strong returns, and a growing appeal to both families and remote workers, the Poconos isn't just charming, it's profitable. Before we break into the top 5, let me ask you this. If you could own a vacation rental anywhere in the U.S., where would you put your money? Drop your answer in the comments. I'd love to hear your thoughts. And hey, if you're getting value from this countdown, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe so you don't miss the cities coming up next. Because trust me, the top 5 will surprise you. Number 5. Gatlinburg, Tennessee. Winding mountain roads, the scent of campfires drifting through the air, and the sight of the Great Smoky Mountains rolling endlessly into the horizon. That's Gatlinburg, Tennessee, a place where families, adventurers, and nature lovers flock year after year. And right now, it's one of the hottest vacation rental markets in the country. Here's why investors are paying attention. In 2025, Gatlinburg's vacation rentals are averaging annual revenues of $40,000 to $45,000 per property, with some larger cabins bringing in double that during peak seasons. The average daily rate ADR sits at around $240 a night, while occupancy rates hover near 60%, far above the national short-term rental average. And the secret sauce? Consistent demand. With over 14 million visitors pouring into the Smoky Mountains each year, Gatlinburg isn't just a seasonal hotspot, it's a year-round money machine. But the real story here is the type of stays guests are seeking. Families and big groups dominate the market, often preferring multi-bedroom cabins with hot tubs, fire pits, and game rooms. Picture an 8-person cabin with mountain views and a theater room. That's not just a weekend stay. It's a booked solid calendar. Investors who lean into that experience-driven design see their revenues soar well above the averages. Of course, Gatlinburg has its quirks. The surge in popularity means competition is fierce. Guests have options, and a dated or cookie-cutter cabin won't cut it. Plus, rising property values have pushed entry costs higher, and operating in mountain terrain comes with added maintenance. Think steep driveways, weatherproofing, and seasonal upkeep. And while local authorities remain largely STR-friendly, certain zoning areas have restrictions you'll want to double-check before buying. Gatlinburg offers something rare: dependable year-round tourism, high nightly rates, and a guest profile that values space, comfort, and amenities. Meaning investors can generate impressive returns if they deliver the right experience. In short, Gatlinburg isn't just a charming mountain town. It's proof that when nature meets smart investment, vacation rentals can climb as high as the Smokies themselves. Number 4. Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Now, imagine the Atlantic Ocean stretching wide before you, the salty breeze carrying the sound of waves, and a bustling boardwalk filled with neon lights, seafood joints, and families on summer vacation. That's Myrtle Beach, a destination that blends affordability with pure vacation energy. And for investors, it's an ocean of opportunity. Let's look at the numbers. In 2025, Myrtle Beach vacation rentals are pulling in an average annual revenue of around $38,000 to $42,000, with average daily rates, ADR, of about $200 per night. Occupancy rates hover near 55 to 60%. But during peak summer months, it's nearly impossible to find an open calendar, especially for oceanfront condos and family-sized rentals. Add to that a steady flow of over 19 million visitors annually, and it's easy to see why Myrtle Beach keeps ranking as a short-term rental favorite. But here's what makes it special: affordability. Unlike markets where entry costs have skyrocketed, Myrtle Beach still offers condos under $300,000 and single-family vacation homes at prices far below those in other coastal hotspots. That lower barrier to entry makes it attractive for both first-time investors and seasoned pros, diversifying their portfolios. The twist: seasonality. Myrtle Beach is undeniably summer-heavy. Memorial Day to Labor Day, you can name your price, but come winter, bookings slow dramatically. That's why smart investors here focus on properties with unique draws, like indoor pools, proximity to golf courses, or event-driven stays, to help balance out the off-season. Another factor: regulations remain fairly relaxed compared to other coastal cities, though HOAs can be strict, especially in condo developments. This makes due diligence a must. The difference between a cash-flowing gem and a property that sits idle could come down to one rule in the fine print. Myrtle Beach combines strong revenue potential with relatively low buy-in costs, creating a rare sweet spot for investors. It's not without risks. Seasonality and HOA restrictions can bite. But with the right property and strategy, Myrtle Beach offers the kind of ROI that makes investors feel like they're standing on the winning side of the boardwalk. Number 3. Honolulu, Hawaii. Golden beaches, surfers catching waves at sunrise, and a skyline framed by Diamond Head. Honolulu isn't just a city, it's a dream, a postcard come to life. And while tourists see paradise, investors see something else: one of the most lucrative short-term rental markets in the entire country. The numbers are eye-popping. In 2025, vacation rentals in Honolulu average over $55,000 in annual revenue, with some luxury listings bringing in six figures. The average daily rate, ADR, hovers around $320 a night, with occupancy rates often exceeding 70% in prime neighborhoods like Waikiki. Tourism here is unstoppable. Hawaii welcomed more than 9 million visitors last year, and Honolulu remains the entry point for the vast majority of them. But here's where the story gets interesting. Honolulu isn't an easy market to break into. Hawaii has some of the strictest short-term rental regulations in the nation, limiting where and how you can legally operate. Properties outside designated resort zones face heavy restrictions, and compliance is non-negotiable. This is why many investors focus on condos in Waikiki or areas explicitly zoned for vacation rentals. The barrier to entry is high, both in regulations and property costs, but the rewards can be massive for those who navigate it correctly. Then there's the lifestyle factor. Guests aren't just booking a stay, they're buying an experience. Sunrise hikes, beachfront yoga, poke bowls, and luau's. Honolulu rentals that tap into that narrative with curated design and amenities stand out in a crowded market. Think ocean view lanais, modern island decor, and partnerships with local tour operators. Honolulu is a paradox. one of the most restrictive and expensive markets to enter, yet also one of the most profitable if you play by the rules. For investors with deep pockets and a clear strategy, Honolulu isn't just paradise for vacationers. It can be financial paradise too. Number 2. Branson, Missouri. Now, I know what you're thinking. Branson? Really? But hear me out. This little city in the Ozark Mountains is one of the most unexpected vacation rental powerhouses in America, and that's exactly why it deserves the number 2 spot. A strip lined with theaters, neon lights, live shows, family attractions, and lakeside resorts. Branson has quietly become the family entertainment capital of the Midwest. And while it doesn't have oceans or world-famous landmarks, it has something equally valuable: steady, loyal tourism. The numbers back it up. In 2025, Branson vacation rentals generate around $45,000 in annual revenue on average, with occupancy rates pushing 65%. The average daily rate, ADR, sits at roughly $200 per night. And here's the kicker: over 10 million visitors pour into this town every year. For context, that's more annual visitors than Yellowstone National Park, all concentrated in a single destination. So what drives this market? Affordability and accessibility. Families from across the Midwest can pack into the car and drive to Branson for a weekend getaway, making it a budget-friendly alternative to big coastal cities. Add in Silver Dollar City theme park, sprawling lakes, hiking trails, and hundreds of live shows, and you've got year-round attractions. That means bookings don't just spike in summer, they remain steady across multiple seasons. But here's the twist. Because Branson's housing market is more affordable, investors can often secure larger properties. Think 4 or 5 bedroom cabins or homes near Table Rock Lake for far less than coastal counterparts. These big homes marketed for group getaways can absolutely crush the competition. Of course, no market is perfect. Branson has seen a boom in new listings, which means standing out is critical. Guests aren't just looking for a bed. They want game rooms, lake access, or interiors that feel like a vacation in themselves. And while regulations here are lighter than in major metros, HOAs in some developments can be restrictive, so investors need to do their homework. Branson is the classic underdog story. Low entry costs, strong occupancy, loyal visitors, and family-driven demand. For investors, it's proof that you don't always need beaches or skyscrapers. Sometimes all it takes is a lakeside view and a city that knows how to keep tourists coming back. Number 1. Kissimmee, Florida. We've traveled from the mountains to the beaches, from hidden gems to tropical paradises. But at the very top of our list sits a city that's been quietly powering the vacation rental industry for years. And in 2025, it stands unrivaled. Welcome to Kissimmee, Florida. At first glance, Kissimmee may not look like a tourist capital. There are no oceans here, no neon strip like Vegas, no mountains towering overhead, but take one drive down U.S. Highway 192, and you'll see why it's number 1. Kissimmee is the gateway to Disney World, Universal Studios, and everything Orlando has to offer. Families from across the globe fly into Florida, and for millions of them, Kissimmee is where they stay. The numbers are staggering. In 2025, the average vacation rental in Kissimmee is generating $50,000 to $55,000 per year, with larger luxury villas easily crossing 6 figures. The average daily rate, ADR, sits around $235 a night, and occupancy rates often exceed 70% in peak travel seasons. That consistency makes Kissimmee one of the most dependable vacation rental markets in the nation. But what makes Kissimmee truly special is its inventory. Unlike many destinations where short-term rentals are condos or small homes, Kissimmee is known for massive vacation villas built specifically for this purpose. We're talking 5, 8, even 12-bedroom properties with themed kids' rooms, private pools, game theaters, and full resort-style amenities. These aren't just rentals. They're experiences designed to keep families out of hotels and inside spaces that feel like private resorts. Of course, there are challenges. Florida's rising insurance premiums and property taxes are squeezing profit margins. Competition is fierce, with thousands of active listings fighting for attention. And regulations, while currently manageable, could shift as the STR market continues to expand. But even with those headwinds, demand shows no signs of slowing. Disney alone draws more than 58 million visitors annually, and Kissimmee is perfectly positioned to catch them. Kissimmee takes the crown at number 1 because no other market combines affordability, scalability, and global demand quite like it. Whether it's a cozy 3-bedroom townhome or a sprawling 12-bedroom villa, investors here can find properties that not only book solid, but also deliver returns strong enough to build real wealth. Kissimmee isn't just a city near Disney, it's the epicenter of vacation rentals in America. And in 2025, it's the number 1 place to put your money if you're serious about this game. And there you have it, our countdown of the top 10 places in the U.S. to buy a vacation rental property in 2025. From the neon lights of Las Vegas to the quiet charm of Savannah, from mountain retreats in the Poconos to the ultimate crown jewel in Kissimmee, one thing is clear: the vacation rental market isn't just about buying property, it's about buying opportunity. Each city on this list tells a different story. Some shine with luxury and global demand, others thrive on tradition and affordability. But the common thread? People are traveling, they're seeking experiences, and they're choosing vacation rentals in record numbers. For the smart investor, that's a chance not just to profit, but to build something lasting. Now I want to hear from you. Which of these cities surprised you the most? And if you had $500,000 to invest today, where would you buy your vacation rental? Drop your answer in the comments. I'll be jumping in to reply and share my thoughts. If you found value in this countdown, do me a favor. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next deep dive. We've got more insights coming your way, and trust me, you won't want to miss them. Thanks for watching, and until next time, happy investing.